Welcome to the Red Conrad Show, the story of my life and world events how I see them. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get this going. Hello everyone, how you doing? Most of you who have been following my show all along know that I got a pretty serious situation going on. If you're new to the show, first I'm going to mention there's no background music for the next few episodes because my host got rid of the software I was using, partnered with the new software, who tells me that they are working on the ability to add music to the background. It's in beta right now. It's being released to users slowly. So eventually I will have music in the background again. Until then, just my boring self. And if you're new to the show, please go back and listen to the older episodes, because that'll help all the future episodes, including this one, make a little bit more sense. Because I'm not going to keep on rehashing every last detail, everything I've already said, because then the episodes will just keep on getting longer and longer and longer and longer, so I'm repeating myself. That being said, those of you who have been following all along, basically, what I want you to do is take everything you heard leading up to and through the first, second, and third hiatuses from my show. Because each of that kind of lands me where I am now, the situation I'm in now. I am looking for more work, on top of looking for more customers for my business. I am looking for a quote-unquote regular job. It's just taking fucking forever. Everybody claims they're fucking hiring, but I'm not the only one in my area bitching that they got fucking tens of applications in to everywhere that's hiring, and no callbacks, no interviews. In the time that I've been applying around, I did land a couple of interviews, but didn't go any further than that. So I'm still trying as far as that's just concerned. Anyways, I'm in a tough spot right now. I'm trying to make the best of it. That's how the Nomad Life series was thought up and born. That all the episodes of the Nomad Life series is the episodes tagged with NL. Those are specifically that series episodes. And the episodes without a tag is the regular Red Conrad show. Anyways, so considering I don't have much money, I don't have any way to cook anything, I don't have a way to do much of anything really at the moment. I looked up some stupid fucking shit on the internet, and I came up with I found this weird idea of making ramen with soda, more specifically cola. I'm not using Coke because store brand's cheaper. I've been drinking store brand because it's actually cheaper to buy store brand big bottles of soda than it is to buy the liter size bottles of the iced tea that I prefer to drink, used to drink, can't afford to right now. I mean, I drink a couple liters a day of liquid, so nah. When I gotta worry about feeding myself, feeding Fisher, putting gas in the vehicle, trying to get bills paid and shit, everything else I'm trying to get taken care of, and how little work I have right now, that it's just not plausible. Gotta go as cheap and affordable as I possibly can. Anyways, a couple of recipes that I found suggest that you can make ramen noodle, instant ramen, not the freshly baked shit, instant ramen, with regular cold water, room temperature water. But it takes roughly 20 minutes to half an hour for the noodles to rehydrate. And then you got people fucking adding all kinds of stuff to it, right? And these are recipes from regular normal people, recipes from campers. There's even a couple up there literally called prison recipes. So many people were locked up, and this is how they made their ramen and different things and what they'd added to it while they were locked up. But anyways, from all groups of people that are posting these weird ramen recipes, they all have their own version of making ramen with the cola. So that's what I did. I put the ramen in a bag and poured in. I don't like when there's broth left over. So even when I used to be able to cook it, I try to let all the water or broth, whatever, steam out. So I put in just enough cola that can get the noodles, rehydrated basically. And yeah, it does turn the noodles a funky color because obviously, cola is darker than water. Um, and it allegedly has like a sweet taste to it. I haven't tried it yet. It's still in the bag. I'm about to eat some, but I am finding a bunch of really cool fucking recipes. I just lost my train of thought. I'll be back. Give me a minute. Sorry for the interruption. Anyways, so there's a bunch of freaking recipes, pretty interesting recipes you can find where you're not really spending all that much money, and you can get pretty interesting and pretty tasty food. I mean, some of the things people come up with are absolutely fucking amazing. And I guess my point is, it doesn't really matter how bad shit is, how bad you think you got it. There's always a way you can fucking get by. You just gotta find it, you gotta make it fucking happen. And you gotta be willing to try new things. Like, I'm trying these instant ramen, made with cola instead of water. It looks interesting, so why not try it, right? You ain't never gonna know what it tastes like if you don't fucking try it. And for those of you who may be hearing this ridiculous idea of making instant soup with fucking soda instead of water and laughing at it, well, all I can say to you is go fuck yourself. I mean, you don't know how it tastes unless you try it, so why don't you make some and try it and see how it tastes for yourself. As far as the situation that I'm in and the lifestyle that I'm trying to move into, it's me trying to make the best of a bad situation. Because of the situation that I'm in, I have very limited options available to me as far as where I can go, how I can get things done, the work that's available to me. So I gotta take the option. Fisher! I gotta take the options that are available to me and make the best of it. And hope that before shit gets too much worse, something finally breaks. Something finally fucking works in my favor. Whether it be I finally manage to land a job, whether it be I get an influx of fucking customers to my business, combination thereof. Maybe one day when I got an extra dollar, I decide to play a scratch off and I hit it big on the scratch off. Something. There's no point in fucking sulking when you're down. Because believe me, I did that. For those of you who haven't been listening to my show all along, listen to my previous episodes, particularly the ones about my first, second, and third hiatus. I lost my wife to cancer, and I spent a lot of time sitting in my depression, allowing my depression to control my life. And because of that, a series of events started taking place that when I finally got out of that depression and tried to come back to myself, no matter how hard I tried to fucking prevent the series of events from continuing, yeah, I couldn't stop it. I allowed myself to let my depression hold me down for too long. I understand that. I recognize that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I miss my wife. I really do. I really wish, rather than her passing away of the cancer, that they could have been able to fucking cure it, put it in remission. Unfortunately, that's not how things went. But had it gone into remission, I could have been excited for her that went to remission. She's better. I wouldn't have fucking fell into my depression that essentially destroyed everything I had going for me. But rather than fucking look at the what ifs, and rather than allow myself to fall back into my depression, I gotta look at the options that are left sitting in front of me and try to make the best of the situation that I'm in. It's the only way I'm going to make it out of the situation back into a more positive light. No, it's not going to be easy. Nothing about this shit is fucking easy. I got a long, hard fucking road ahead of me, and I understand that. I know that, especially the fucking lifestyle that I'm considering taking on once my bills are paid up and the shit I gotta take care of. Once all that's taken care of, I essentially have two different things I can go. I can either, get myself some property, get back into a stable, a stable domicile. And I'm calling it that because, quite frankly, home is where the heart is. Okay. So even if I have a fucking physical location, if it's not the property I want, if it's not the house I want, if it's really nothing more than just something I was able to afford and get into it, is it really a home? You know? And so how long am I gonna let myself be there before I try to fucking get in something else? So there's that. I mean, there is land that I want to buy. But it's just land. It's gotta be cleared. Gotta be built on. Gotta have all the plumbing and shit fucking put in, which is gonna cost an insane amount of money. So even if I go that route, when I have the money to do so, at least the money to buy it, it's still gonna take like forever before I can actually live on my own land. So I gotta wait for land to be cleared. I can afford to do that. Then when I can afford to have the plumbing put in, I gotta wait for that to happen. Then when I finally have the money to have a home put on it or built on it, I gotta wait for that. So it's gonna be a long enough process. The other option is the nomad life, which does have its pros and cons. One of its major cons is is in most of the country it's extremely difficult to put an address on your fucking license, registration, and insurance because most states no longer allow PMBs to be used as your domicile address. So I need to find a service. I think I found one already though. But I gotta find a service that I can use as my domicile address for my license, registration, and insurance. Another major fucking con is, work. I mean, there are things you can do for work, living a nomad life. I'm in a couple of different groups for work camping, which is basically, somebody needs some work done. They let you camp out on their fucking land while you help them out until the job's over. And when the job's over, you leave. Another kind of work camping is farms. A farm will let you camp on their property while you help out, for that season. It's a seasonal job with things that they need done around the farm. And then when the job's over, you pack up and you move on to the next job. And then obviously, as the season's coming to an end, you gotta use your off hours to start looking for the next job. So when that first job ends, you can head off and start the next job. So it's going to be a little bit of an adventure. I've already met people that do it, and they seem to like it. I've met others that live the nomad life that have income coming in through other things they do. They don't work camp per se, but they have remote jobs, whether it be customer service agents where they got a computer and shit set up in their vehicle. Other people have other kinds of fucking weird businesses they run out of their vehicle. And as they're traveling, they just stop off at post offices here and there, ship out wherever they got to ship out to their customers. Or they might have a drop shipping business. So there's things that people do other than work camping to living a nomad lifestyle. I will say though that most people I've met, most of them have started the nomad life already with some kind of income already established, jobs already set up. Only a very few, myself included, took on the life seemingly with nothing. No other options, no really ideas what they wanted to do. They just fucking hit the road and learn from other nomads they met along their travels. I'm thinking about doing that only because it sounds like fun. People I'm talking to. Yeah, there's a lot of cons to it. Yes, there's a lot of potential dangers to it, depending on where you go, how close you are to the inner cities and shit. It can get kind of dangerous, but there is money to be made doing it. So, and I'd rather look at myself as a nomad or a van lifer. There's only really one subset of the nomad culture. You got your van lifers, your RVers, your schoolies, car campers, tent campers, and that are all full-time nomads. But I rather look at myself as trying to start nomad life than to view myself as homeless. Because if I'm a nomad, I'm not technically homeless, I'm houseless. I don't have a house. Well, at the moment, I don't have an address either because I don't have a P.O. box. I was waiting on trying to get my old P.O. box back, but I can't use that on my license and registration and insurance. So I'm waiting until I can afford another service that I found that I could use for that purpose. And then I just got to set up with the post office where I'm at and that service to send my mail to the post office for general pickup. Which, it is what it is. Anyways, I'm working on making the best out of a bad situation. Within my first couple of days, I got my relationship with God almost back to where I was at a couple years ago. Because I will say, losing my wife, my relationship with God went downhill by a lot. And one of my friends was pointing that out to me frequently, very frequently. Um, which he was concerned about because one, I was a very spiritual person, and for two, I've been an ordained minister since 2010. I've had my own ministry since 2011. So seeing what was happening to me with my relationship with God was kind of concerning my one friend, and I appreciate that about him. I'm getting that back. For the first time in a long time, my first few days out on the road, I feel like God actually spoke to me. Like some of the questions I was asking him on a daily basis, pretty much for the past couple years, I feel like finally got answered. And then there was a couple of other questions I was asking him that I feel like kind of sort of pointed me in the right direction for, which is cool. And I don't know, I might even make one of the other. Because I wanted to do. If you've been following my show, I mentioned a couple of episodes ago. That the Nomad Life series is only one series of the show, sub series to the show, or sub show rather to the show. I was gonna have. I might make another one. Just from a ministry. And eventually, yes, Nomad Life series is going to become its own podcast eventually. The other two sub series I want to do in my show after a few episodes or a season on this podcast, the other two series might also become their own podcasts. I'm just starting them out through this show, one, to get the series attention, and two, to kind of monitor via episode listens and via feedback from my listeners. Which, if you're new to the show, you can always send me feedback to podcast@redconrad.com. And, give me your commentary, questions, whatever, about my show in general, or to a particular episode that you listen to. Or if you want to become a guest on the show, send me an email, podcast@redconrad.com. Letting me know you want to have a guest appear on my show and what you want to talk about. And we can get that scheduled. Anyways, pay attention to, the listens to each different episodes, what series they belong to, and based on that, determine if and when that particular series will break off into its own podcast. Another reason why I'm having them all start on this podcast is because the Red Conrad Show is basically about me, about my life, about my happenings, which all three of the sub-series to the show are. They are my life. They are me, about me. All I'm doing really is giving those particular series and the episodes related to those series a topic. So when you listen to my show and you see an episode tagged with one of the series' tags, you have a general idea already of the type of content that's going to be in that episode, as opposed to the general show with no series tags. I could be talking about damn near anything. But then when you see an episode tagged with a series tag, you already know that when you listen to that episode, it's going to be content related to that particular topic, subject. So anyways, getting back to the origination of this episode, don't worry about how bad you got shit. All right, you can still make some pretty interesting freaking meals for yourself with nothing. Obviously, instant ramen, doing it this way isn't so instant. You gotta wait 20 minutes, half hour for the noodles to rehydrate. And whatever else you want to add to it, you gotta add to it. But that's just instant ramen, okay? There's other things you can do. You don't necessarily gotta cook to prepare. That's still relatively on the cheap side. And there's a whole plethora of things you can do to try to make money. And yeah, some of the different things I was discussing, some of them take money to get started. Like if you're gonna do a dropshipping business or swing stock trading, like I mentioned in previous episodes, or any kind of stock trading, um, or if you want to get involved with network marketing, like I used to do, and one particular company I do want to get involved with again eventually, shit like that, it is gonna take a little bit of money to get started with it and to keep it going. The other options out there that don't require money to get started, it could take some time, lining up. You got to find a job that one has an opening, and two that's actually going to hire you. And if you're like me, trying to get into the whole work camping thing with absolutely zero fucking farm experience, you got to find a farm that is understanding that you're willing to work. You don't know how to use any of their fucking equipment, but you're willing to learn. And yeah, they're probably gonna turn around and say, no, because you're inexperienced, because we got to teach you how to use this, we got to teach you how to do that. They might turn back around and say, well, we're not gonna start you at whatever the hell the fucking pay is that they're offering. They might drop it down a little bit, but fuck it, take it. If you can find a farm willing, or a campsite that does work camping, and they're willing to teach you what you need to know, but because they have to train you, they're gonna take some payoff off what was offered. Take it. I mean, because a lot of fucking places won't do that. A lot of places won't take you if you're not experienced, if you don't have at least a little bit of know-how. If you find a campsite or a farm that's willing to educate you and train you in exchange for a little bit less pay, just take it. There's always fucking shit out there you can do. And it might take a little bit of time to set up. It might take a little bit of time to fucking find something. But it's not costing you any money to get it. It's only costing you time to find it, get interviewed, get hired, and get there to do the job. Nothing but time. And I am going to be taking all of you listeners on my wild ride. I will let you know everywhere I get hired. I may or may not disclose how much I'm earning when I finally get a job. But the better places I find, I will put that out there. So any of you listening that might be a nomad, or those of you considering the nomad life, I will put out there the better places. I'm not talking about pay. I mean, pay is pay. You'll see what different areas, different job sites pay when they have openings and advertise it out there. How I'm going to judge the better versus the worse is when you arrive to do the job, how do they treat you? Um, are they complete fucking assholes? Or are they, just normal, typical fucking people that, yeah, they want the job done. So during work hours, they're going to be your boss. But after work hours, they're normal people, whether they're all friendly and shit and they'll hang out a little bit, or, it's just okay, day's over. Do you need anything? And then beyond that, they go back inside in their home. You go back to your van or RV or whatever the fuck you're sleeping in, and that's it until the next day for work. That's what I'm going to be talking about as far as is it a good place or a bad place to work? If they're decent people, respectful to their workers, yeah, there might be fucking hard asses during work time, but on the in between hours, they're decent people, normal people. To me, that's a decent place to work. Um, so I guess my message is, I'm trying to make the best of a bad, really tough situation. And with the fucking cocktail of mental conditions that I have, that I was actually officially diagnosed with when I was younger. And despite having no meds, despite having no natural remedies, no nothing, just me inside my own fucking head without anything other than my willpower to try to control it, I'm able to try to fucking make the best of a bad situation. Despite how many times in the past 3 weeks already I've almost had a mental breakdown. Despite that, I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation and turn it into a positive situation. If I can do it, anybody can. So if you're listening to this right now and you lasted this long listening to my boring self, trust me. If I can fucking keep my head up, keep looking forward, try to make the best of a bad situation, anybody can fucking do it. So if you're in a bad spot right now, or if you think you're in a bad spot right now, just keep looking forward, keep pushing forward. And even if you think you don't have any options sitting in front of you, you do. You just gotta, hit the Google. Start talking to people. Try to find other people in a similar position that you're in. And ask them what they do. How are they getting by? And when they tell you about, well, this job, that job, this thing, that thing, ask them how you would go about doing it. How do you find this shit? And they'll fucking tell you. For me, it was as simple as, being a nervous wreck, scared what the fuck I was gonna do next, how I'm gonna get out of this fucking position, nowhere to fucking go. I hopped on the fucking Google. Yeah, I started filling out job applications for local jobs, but that's also how I found the communities that I'm in, of the different nomads. That's how I found out about work camping in the first place. That's how I found out about a lot of things that I've been talking about and I'm going to be talking about. Is Googling shit. Just trying to find anything I can do to start bringing some fucking money in. And that led me to work camping. That led me to these different nomad communities. That led me to these really insane sounding but interesting enough I gotta try them fucking really dirt cheap recipes. Now I'm not gonna lie, I am still panicking a little bit because everything I'm trying to do unfortunately is taking time, a little bit more time than I'd like it to. I mean I really need more money coming in than what I've got right now. Like a lot more money coming in than what I've got right now. And trying to land a job in the area that I'm in right now is like fucking pulling teeth. Starting to feel like it's fucking mission impossible. And so yeah, I am panicking a little bit still. But everything I found out so far, I found out by Googling. So if you're in a bad spot, or feel you're in a bad spot, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep on looking forward. Try to stay positive. And start fucking picking up every fucking rock you can find. Leave no rock unturned. And you'll find different options available. You'll find out about things that most regular normal people don't even know fucking exists as far as fucking work goes and shit. I mean, I had no idea. I'm almost fucking 40 years old. I turned 40 in November, and I had no idea work camping was a fucking thing. No idea. I had no fucking clue that there are farmers out there, that there are campsites out there that will let you fucking camp on that property for not the greatest hourly pay, but it's money. And then you also got to figure, well, you got also sitting on their land, so they're taking the fucking run for the land out of the hourly pay, which whatever, right? So you'll have a place to park up. You'll have a job. You got some cash coming in. I had no idea this type of shit existed. So hop on the Google. Find those fucking options. Look into some of the things that I mentioned. Look into fucking work camping. Any farms near you, campsites near you. Tons of fucking goddamn seasonal jobs out there. You just gotta find them. There, as far as seasonal work goes, there might be more of that in like the bigger cities than out rural. Out rural, obviously, you find more farm jobs and campsite jobs than you would traditional jobs, but they're out there. So look for them. Put in your applications. Sooner or later, somebody's got to fucking call you back for an interview, right? And after so many interviews, somebody's eventually got to hire you. I mean, that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping to have happen to me. I mean, with all the applications I've got out there, fucking months filling out applications for traditional jobs, and now I'm starting to fill out fucking applications for nearby farms and campsites and shit. Matter of time before I land something, right? Just keep your head up. And on that note, I will thank you all for listening, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Red Conrad Show. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember, if you're not listening on Spotify, Spotify is the home of my subscription-only content. Any stories you want to hear that have part 1 or other missing pieces on the free side, you gotta hop over to Spotify and subscribe to the subscription content to get the missing pieces of those particular stories. I will see you in the next episode. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe for subscriber-only content. You can find links to subscribe at show.redconrad.com. Subscriptions are available directly through Spotify, as well as through a Memberful account, where you can access subscriber-only content on any podcast listening platform. Whatever platform you prefer to listen to podcasts on, you will be able to listen to my subscriber-only content on that platform via a feed specifically for you through your Memberful account. Again, the links to subscriptions can be found at show.redconrad.com.